Last period, I completed final account with adjustment. So in that chapter, we studied 13 adjustments: closing stock, outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, accrued income, income received in advance, further bad debt, new provision for bad and doubtful debt, provision for discount on debtor, provision for discount on creditor, manager's commission, interest on capital, interest on drawings. Then we studied three more adjustment: goods withdrawn by the owner for personal use, goods used for office purposes, then loss of goods by fire, and insurance company admitted a claim. Okay, so now I will start. If you have any doubt related to final account with adjustment, you can ask now. Any adjustment, how to calculate anything, any doubt? Shubham, turn on your video. Sharath, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So now I will start. So today we can complete 60% of this chapter. Okay, simple only. Accounts from incomplete records. So till now we studied the records we are keeping according to the double entry system of bookkeeping. According to double entry system, every transaction has two aspects: debit aspects and credit aspects. Here means if the records are kept not according to the basis of double entry system, means an accounting system which is not based on double entry, it is known as incomplete accounting system or single entry system. An accounting system which is not based on double entry, that is known as incomplete accounting or single entry system. But there is a misconception, is that under single entry we are recording only one aspect of each transaction. It is not correct. So it is stated that under single entry both the aspects are recorded in some transaction. In some transaction we are recording the both aspects, and in other cases only one aspect is recorded in the books of account, while some other transactions are not recorded at all. That is single entry. Means it is incomplete, inaccurate, unscientific and unsystematic way of bookkeeping, record keeping. That is single entry system. Means it is a mixture of single entry, double entry and no entry. Okay, in some transaction we are recording the both aspects, debit and credit. Some transaction we are recording only one aspect. Some transactions are not recorded at all. That is single entry, incomplete, inaccurate. Means it is maintained by the sole trader, a business owned and managed by a single person. Then partnership business also maintaining their following single entry system, because they have no any legal provision to record the transaction according to double entry system. But for a company, if it is a company, means they have to follow the double entry system of bookkeeping. Okay, so it is maintained by the sole trader or partnership firm. So that is incomplete accounting system, single entry system. Means under this system we are recording only the personal aspect only we are recording. Personal aspect of each transactions are recorded. Personal, we know that types of account: real, nominal and personal. Here we are recording only the personal. Means real and nominal. Real means except cash. Except cash. We are preparing cash account. Then real and nominal accounts are completely ignored. Completely ignored under single entry system. Only personal transactions are recorded related to debtors, creditors, then cash account. Cash, debtors, creditors, bills payable, bills receivable related to person. That only we are recording, then cash account. Remaining asset, real means asset, nominal means expense and losses are completely ignored under single entry system. Clear? Only personal transactions are recorded, real and nominal, except real means assets except cash are completely ignored under this system. So that's why it is incomplete, inaccurate, unscientific and unsystematic style of bookkeeping. That is single entry system, incomplete accounting system, an accounting system which is not based on double entry. That is incomplete or single entry. Here only personal aspects are recorded. Personal aspect of each transactions are recorded. And real and nominal accounts except cash are completely ignored while recording the business transaction. Next one, features of single entry. Features of incomplete accounting system. Okay, features of single entry system or features of single entry or incomplete accounting system. So these are the features. As you see, maintenance of personal accounts only, maintenance of personal accounts, then maintenance of cash book, dependence on original vouchers, then suitability, then preparation of final account. Preparation of final account. So these are the features of a single entry system. So first one, maintenance of personal accounts. Already I said, under this system, only personal accounts are prepared in the books. Okay, only the personal accounts are recorded. Only the personal accounts are debtors account, creditors account, bills payable, bills receivable, that is related to person, are recorded. Real and nominal accounts are completely ignoring under this system. Next one, maintenance of cash book. Maintenance of cash book. So here already I said under real account only cash book we are preparing. Only cash book we are preparing to find out the cash in hand. To find out the which one real cash in hand. Okay, so here we are recording under we are recording all the transactions, personal transaction also, business transaction also we are recording under cash book. So to know the cash in hand, okay, to know the cash in hand at the end of the period. Next one, dependence on original vouchers. Here how to record under single entry system, how to record the business transaction on the basis of original invoice, on the basis of original vouchers. Suppose at the end of the period we will prepare, suppose if you are preparing any account, so how much amount of purchase, how to record on the basis of total amount of invoice collected from the got from the supplier. That total we will write purchase, because here means recording transaction on the basis of original vouchers. Original vouchers. Next one, suppose sale also. Sale means how much invoice we given to the customer, total invoice. That on that basis only we will record the total amount of sales at the end of the period on the basis of original vouchers. Next, suitability. Already I said it is this system. Which one? It is maintained by the sole trader or a partnership. It is suitable to the sole trader and the partnership. The company cannot maintain the system because they have to follow the legal provisions of the Companies Act. Okay. Next, preparation of final account. how they will prepare the which one? Final accounts, trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet. How they will prepare? So here means on the base of, suppose under double entry system, how we are preparing file account on the base of trial balance. Trial balance, how we are preparing on the base of journal ledger. Okay. So here means we are not preparing the final accounts according to that basis. So on the basis of the voucher, then how to find out the balance sheet on the basis of the missing figure. Some assets we will get, some liability we will get. So difference between the difference amount will be the capital, like that. On that basis only we are finding. So we will study that how to do final account under this system on the basis of missing figure, on the basis of vouchers only. Through that basis only we are preparing the which one final account. So it is not a correct. We can't find out the correct final account on this basis, because you look that we are completely ignoring. Listen, we are completely ignoring real and nominal account. Real means asset, so we can't prepare balance sheet. Nominal account also we are completely ignoring. Nominal account means what? Expenses, losses, incomes, gains. That is under trading and profit loss account. So we can't prepare. If you prepare means on the basis of voucher, on the basis of missing some missing figure. That will be the, on that basis only we are preparing the final account. Okay. The next one, limitations. After that over, certainly still start problem. Limitations of single entry system. So same only what we are stated. Twofold aspects of each transactions are not recorded. So trial balance cannot be prepared. So here we said in some transaction we are recording the two aspects. In some transaction we are recording only one aspect. Some transactions are not recorded at all. So on that basis we can't prepare the trial balance. Then the result of trading obtained under the single entry system, it is incomplete and unreliable. So we got the trading result, gross profit, net loss, that is not reliable, that is incomplete. Then as nominal accounts are not kept, expenses and losses are not kept, then the profit and loss account is incomplete and unscientific. Not correct one, not complete one, not scientific one, not systematic one. Then as real accounts are not maintained, balance sheet cannot be prepared. Balance sheet we are preparing, so that will show how to prepare. Cannot be prepared. If we prepare also, we won't get the correct financial positions. Okay. So here means we can't prepare. Limitation, it is very easy. If you are following single system, we can't prepare trial balance. We can prepare trading and profit account. We can prepare balance sheet. Okay. Then errors and frauds cannot be easily found out. If any error and frauds are there, we can't easily find under single system. But if it is a double entry system, we studied rectification of errors. Okay, so we can rectify. But here, if you are following which one single entry system, we can't easily find out the errors and frauds. Okay, these are the limitations of single entry system. Clear? So first I said about single entry system, an accounting system which is not based on double entry system. An accounting system which is not based on double entry, that is called single entry system. Then features, we are maintaining only the personal account, then dependence of original vouchers, then maintenance of cash book to know the cash positions readily and accurately. Suitability, it is suitable for sole trader and a partnership firm. Then preparation of final accounts. Here means on the base of instead of balance sheet we are preparing statement of affairs. On the base of missing figure we will I will teach on the base of missing figure we will find out the capital. On the base of original voucher we will prepare the final account, but it is incomplete. Okay. Next, unscientific. Next, limitation, we can prepare trial balance, trading and profit loss account and balance sheet. Then errors and frauds cannot be easily found out. Next one. So now we will start the problem. Ascertainment of profit and loss. How to calculate profit or loss under single entry system. Okay. So under single entry system, how to find out the profit and loss. So there are two methods to find out the profit and loss under single entry system: statement of affairs method or capital comparison method. Okay, statement of affairs method or capital comparison method. Statement of affairs method or capital comparison method. Next one, conversion method, means conversion of single entry into double entry. Okay, there are two methods: statement of affairs method or capital comparison method. Second one, conversion method. So conversion method is deleted from the syllabus, but I will teach you how to study. Okay, ascertainment of profit or loss. There are two methods: statement of affairs method and conversion method. So under double entry system, how we will calculate profit and loss? We will prepare which one? Profit and loss account, trading and profit and loss account. Through that way, we will find the profit and loss. Here, how to prepare? First one, statement of affairs method. Statement of affairs method. So according to this, what do you mean by statement of affairs? Means it is a statement. It is a statement setting out the assets and liabilities of a business as a on a given date. That is called statement of affairs. It is a statement like a balance sheet, but it is not exactly balance sheet. That I will tell why. So it is a statement showing the assets and liabilities, on a given date. That is which one? Statement of affairs. Statement of affairs. So here I am telling how to find out profit under statement of affairs. Okay, so what do you mean by statement of affairs? We said it is a statement setting out the showing the assets and liabilities on a given date, but it cannot be called a balance sheet. I'm telling statement of affairs method how to calculate profit, but I am telling about what do you mean by statement of affairs. Statement of affairs means it is a statement showing the assets and liabilities on a given date, so it cannot be called a balance sheet. It cannot be called a balance sheet. Same like a balance sheet only. Heading statement of affairs. But it cannot be called a balance sheet. Why? Because we are not preparing the balance sheet according to the trial balance. Then trial balance are prepared according to the ledger. So it is not prepared according to the extract of ledger account under double entry system. So that's why it cannot be called a which one balance sheet. Okay, so same like only balance sheet, all the assets and liabilities will be arranged in the form of balance sheet, and the excess of assets and liabilities will represent the capital. Okay, so that I will tell. So under this method, how to calculate profit. Under this method, how to capital comparison method, how to calculate profit. So under this method, how to calculate profit? If closing capital is more than the opening capital, if closing capital is more than the capital, it represents profit. Clear? If opening capital is more than the closing capital, it represents loss. So how through this way only they are finding the profit, not like preparing, because it is incomplete system. Here means they are comparing the closing capital and opening capital. Okay, so closing capital and opening capital. Okay, so we have to find sometimes we have to find the opening capital and closing capital. How to find the closing capital and opening capital? They won't give directly the closing capital. Sometimes they will give, otherwise they won't give. So how to calculate closing capital and opening capital? Through preparation of statement of affairs. Through preparation of statement of affairs. Through preparation of statement of affairs. Statement of affairs, already I said, it is a statement showing the assets and liabilities, same like a balance sheet. Liability amount, assets amount, but heading statement of affairs, but it is not a, it cannot be called a balance sheet. Why? Because the two sides, it is not equal. Here means the missing figure is capital. Means we know that accounting equation. Here how to calculate capital means we know that accounting equation through that basis. Capital is equal to assets minus liabilities. Okay, so item they will give assets, liabilities. So we have to put in the asset side and liability side. The difference amount that will be the capital. Okay, through that way we are finding the which one, capital. Okay, it is very easy. Okay, first method it is over. Clear? So how to find capital? I will tell that by preparing statement of affairs. Okay, under statement of affairs, how to find out the profit? By comparing the closing capital and which one, opening capital. If closing capital is more than the opening capital means it represents profit. If opening capital is more than the closing capital, it represents loss. So then we have to find which one, closing capital and opening capital by preparing statement of affairs. So what is the difference between balance sheet and statement of affairs? First, double entry. It is prepared, balance sheet is prepared with the list of ledger balances. So it is based on, at least it is based on double entry system. Okay, so it is not based on double entry system. Then arithmetical accuracy. We know that under a double entry system, we are preparing the trial balance. So arithmetical accuracy can be checked. But we know that we are ignoring nominal and which one, real account. Nominal account are completely ignoring nominal real account. So we can't prepare a trial balance. So arithmetical accuracy cannot be checked. Right? If you prepare trial balance, then only we can check the arithmetical accuracy. If you are not prepared means we can't check. Next, value of assets and liabilities. The value of assets and liabilities is shown in a balance sheet are the actual values based on ledger accounts. On the basis of ledger accounts, because on the basis of ledger account only, we are preparing which one, trial balance. Okay, if you are not preparing trial balance also, okay, journal, ledger, trading and profit and loss account, balance sheet. Okay, so on that basis, that's only the value of assets and liabilities shown in a balance sheet are the actual values based on ledger accounts. Here, statement of affairs are merely the estimate based on physical information. It is only an estimate. On the basis of estimate only we are recording the value of assets and liabilities. It is not the basis of ledger accounts. Okay, estimate this much amount will be there, cash this much amount, building this much amount, only on the basis of estimate. That's why we said it is incomplete, inaccurate system. Next one, object. It is prepared for ascertaining the financial position of the business. So for what purpose we are preparing the balance sheet? To find out the financial position of the business. For what purpose we are preparing statement of affairs? For ascertaining the capital. Balance figure will be capital. Liability side balance will be less. That amount is capital. Next, omission of any asset or liability. If any asset or liability is omitted while preparing balance sheet, it will be easily detected because the balance sheet will not tally. Because last chapter we studied some mistake we did. So that time our balance sheet will not tally. So that time we found that some mistake might be there. So we can easily detect such a mistake. But here means if an asset or liability is omitted while preparing statement of affairs, it cannot be easily detected. Why? Because no, we said balance figure is what? Capital. Balance figure is capital, asset minus liability. So we can't easily detect the which one errors. Next, reliability. A balance sheet is treated as more reliable because it is based on double entry principle. It is treated as less reliable because it is based on incomplete records and estimates. On that basis only, we are preparing records according to double entry, single entry system. Next one, main thing, only this much, then conversion. Format of this you have to study. Format. Okay, you have to study this one. This format, if you study, then you can solve all the problem. All the problem you can solve. So you look that here means profit, how to calculate profit according to single entry system. It is very easy. So you know that last chapter we studied under capital. Whenever you write the capital add net profit no need to take because we are finding net profit. Less drawings, then less interest on drawings, less drawings. Then if any further capital is there, that we will add. We didn't study like that. If any another investment is there, the capital amount will increase. Okay, drawing and further capital you have to take. So if it is a normal means, normal what we are doing, there we are writing the closing capital. There we are writing the closing capital. We have to find the opening. So what we will do? Closing capital and drawings made during the year. Closing capital and drawings made during the year. So opposite you have to do. Drawings lesser. Here drawings add. Okay. How to calculate closing capital? How to calculate opening? Closing capital add drawings less additional capital, then less opening capital. Through then you will get profit before adjustment. Then we will get profit before adjustment. Okay, closing capital add drawings. Why we are adding drawings? Why we are lessing additional capital? That I am telling. That only I am telling. In to find out the closing capital, what we are doing? Less we are doing. Here we have to add. If additional capital add we are doing, then here less. So closing capital add drawings, less additional capital, then less opening capital, then we will get profit before adjustment, gross profit. Okay, here under this method, how to find profit before adjustment, how to find gross profit, closing capital and drawings made during the year, less additional capital, less opening capital, then we will get profit before adjustment. In some question up to this will be there. Okay, closing capital and drawings less additional capital, less opening capital, then you will get profit before adjustments. Okay, closing capital and drawings less additional capital, closing capital and drawings less additional means further capital, then less opening capital, then we will get profit before adjustment. Next one, it is very easy. Profit and loss account debit side item, no, that we have to minus. Look, so one extra item that I will tell, this one I will tell, then this one I will discuss. Other than you look, outstanding expenses, this is profit and loss account debit side item. Add means same effect only, same side. Further bad debt, less. New provision for bad and doubtful debt, same adjustment only. How to calculate it? Same like final account. Provision for discount on debtor, less. Interest on capital, less. Depreciation, less. Then what we have to add? Accrued income, accrued interest. With the credit side we are writing, with the interest we are adding. Add. Provision for discount on creditor, add. Interest on drawings, add. Because it is mainly adjustment item. Only adjustment they will give. Okay, so that's why I given adjustment. Okay, profit and loss account debit side item that you have to less, that is a loss. Then profit and loss account credit side item that you have to minus. No, that you have to add. Which one? Profit and loss account credit side item you have to add, and profit and loss account debit side item you have to less. Then two item, income received in advance. Income received in advance, where we are writing. You look at that. Whenever we write income received in advance, credit side we will write by suppose commission received in advance, by commission less commission received in advance. Is it correct? Commission received in advance. It is a less only. Income side less. Suppose if you write this one in the debit side, commission you have to write 1000, suppose 200, 800. So if you write commission 1000 credit side, commission received in advance debit side 200, then also you will get the correct answer. Then also it is correct. Less item if you are writing the debit side, then also it is okay. Same way, so that's why we have to less commission received in advance. Same way, insurance, prepaid expenses. Suppose insurance 3000 less prepaid 300, so 2700 we will write. Suppose if you are writing insurance debit side, if prepaid insurance by prepaid insurance credit side 300, then also we will get the correct answer. Clear? Profit and loss account debit side, if you are minusing, that you have to that it will come where it will come profit and loss account, then you have to less. Clear? Any doubt? You income received, no, prepaid insurance, that add profit and loss account debit side, if you less means that you can write in the credit side, add. Income received in advance, that is credit minus only, that if you write in the debit side, so less. Clear? Shubham? Any doubt? Any item? Sharaf?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? Any item?
No, sir.
Okay, income received in advance, you understood? Income side less, so that you write in debit side, so less. Profit and loss account debit side you have to minus, so I am telling those items which are deducting, so that opposite aspect you have to think. Credit side less means debit side, debit side less means credit side. Okay, debit side less, credit side add, then we will get net profit. Okay, next period I will explain.